Greetings everyone and welcome to the Cold War. The world is at 1946 and following the end of the Second World War, the two emerging superpowers, the United States of America and the USSR, redrew the map of Europe into two spheres, the Western one that is primarily founded on capitalism and liberal democracy, and the Eastern one that was mainly in totalitarian dictatorships and socialism, communism based. And that is where we land right now. This mod is called the Cold War Enhancement mod, and it's based off a different mod known as New World Order. And we will be playing as the United States in this mod and try to make our way through the Cold War, hopefully emerging as victorious. At the start of the game, the Soviet Union is ranked as the greatest power on Earth due to their military primarily. But we do have the best prestige and the best industry, at least at the start of the game. So we'll just jump straight into it. This mod is very heavy when it comes to decisions, reading, and also events. It's very driven on those bases. And a lot of things have been changed from Victoria to, well, the vanilla Victoria 2 experience. Primarily when it comes to military, but also when it comes to industry, having different things that you can produce. So it has a lot of new various materials to do there. And all of these things. Just look at all these decisions you start with. And you have so many more things to do there. So where to begin? Where to even begin? Well, we can begin with the military. So I mentioned before that the military is drastically changed, and that is the part where I am not really certain on what to do or how to treat it. So you have fighters, bombers, that is new, sort of. I mean, there's airplanes in the end of Victoria 2. You don't really play that often till you get there, and most of the just act as really, really good hussars. And then you have tanks, motorized infantry. Eventually you will get mechanized infantry. You can have modern infantry and modern mechanized infantry. Tactical drone, missile. I don't even sure how missiles will be used in a regular army. And then modern fighter, as well as this artillery. But we'll try to figure out a good way to do the armies. I imagine that you will have quite a bit of tanks, because the tanks are really strong. Just look at these tanks. Attack 100. Compare that to motorized infantry with 3 attack. I mean, 100 attack. That's just so much. That is so goddamn much. So I'm not certain, like, what you need for tanks. I guess you do need a lot compared to infantry. But you do really need a lot of things in order to make them. But as United States, we might be able to handle a really strong, powerful military based on tanks. So that is just the military aspect, and we're not even touching the Navy, because I have no idea how to do the Navy. As far as I've read, you have some ships that are, like, you have, for example, aircraft carriers that will be big ships, and then you will have screens, a bit like in Hearts of Iron 3, where you, at least I did, 4 carriers and then 8 screens per fleet, something like that. We'll try to figure it out on how to do it as we play along. So in the beginning now, we will need to, first of all, deal with all of these decisions, right? We're just out of the Second World War, only a few months after, in fact, and we're at January the 1st, 1946. One thing that I immediately struck by in this mod that is a bit strange is that we start with very few factories, it feels like, for being America. You look at the amount of people we have unemployed. It's just so many. We really do need to upgrade as many of them as possible. And we don't really have a strong economy either. We start with almost no money. We start with a terrible economic situation. So yeah, I said we were going for the decisions first. Let's just deal with the economy first. We'll cut down all the maintenance on our ships, because the ships cost so much to maintain. And then I'm not really sure where to get more money. I guess increasing taxes for everyone, the poor, the middle, and the rich alike. And even then we have a projected daily balance that is not that great. To be fair, in Victoria 2 you usually need to start it with a few days before the economy will settle down. Somehow I have a feeling that all of these overseas maintenance and everything, that this is just gonna be a really difficult economic situation in the beginning. But now we will head into the decisions. So we can go for either a centralization of the state government or a decentralization of state government. They will have different effects, but I am really tempted to go for a centralized state, mainly due to both of them will give minus tax efficiency for a year upon taking it. But this one will also lower tax efficiency even more. It will decrease import cost and everything, but I don't really see any point in going for decentralization. So I think we will take centralization. There's no malices. You will get less militancy in non-colonial, which doesn't really matter that much. Higher education efficiency, which does matter. And also tax efficiency of 1%. And that does strike on an interesting point, the literacy. Apparently, the literacy of the United States in 1946 is 10.5%. I'm not sure if that's supposed to now mean how many people have graduated college or have some sort of degree, but it seems strange that only 10.5% of the American populace would be illiterate at this point. So maybe rework that. I mean, it seems a bit strange. It just seems odd, especially since, I mean, at this point, the United States should have a full functioning industry, considering they were unharmed, mostly from attacks during the World War II, and could massively build up their industry to support the Soviet Union and their allies. So it seems strange that he wouldn't have more. The nation of Greece, your faithful ally, is requesting that you come to their aid in the aggression. That, well, against nothing. Okay, so it will be a no war. We have denazification as our next one. We're basically pushing through the Nuremberg trials here, and we can pick and choose which one we want to go to. We can pass the most just sentence, and that will give the historical outcome. We could give death to all Nazis, which will lower our infamy if we care about such things. And that will have the harsh outcome. Or we could use their expertise after all, which would give us infamy and make people a bit concerned with us lenient outcome. The Soviet Union wants the harsh outcome to happen. I think we will go historically with the most just sentence. Historical outcome, wonderful. Now we have to decide what type of wartime rationing we want to have. I think we will go high since the war will be over very soon anyway. And then we can form the United Nations, apparently. Let's form the United Nations. There we go. United Nations has been formed. And we can also... Actually, we can't have a no-state religion policy. Not yet. One day. Eventually we can develop chemical weapons. We can form a national intelligence agency. Form the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Fun stuff. What else can we do? We can join the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. Construct a new parliament building, if we would so desire. Join the UN General Assembly, which might happen in the future. Join the UN Security Council as a permanent member, which will definitely happen in the future. And just look at all this, a lot of decisions. So if you want to enact different decisions, make decisions based on different outcomes and events, you really should try out this mod. I can't believe the amount of effort that has been put into making all of these things. It's really cool. So I'm very happy about that. I mean, a lot of it is based, as I mentioned before, on the New World Order mod. But I can't really remember what happened there with the split between the Cold War Enhancement and the New World Order. It was something about the map, I believe. So we'll play this. This was the latest release. I think just a month ago, so the last version of this came out. There will be, as always, a link in the description below if you want to try it out too. So what to do now when it comes to technology? We can increase our tax efficiency by going for multilateral development banks. That's 5% tax efficiency. That's not too bad. We could also go for culture and do for example, public switched telephone network to increase our education efficiency. And research points. I think research points will be very important at the beginning. So we'll deal with our bad income and do things, well, do whatever we need to in order to fix that situation. And considering we also have a lack of bureaucrats and a fairly bad administration and administrative efficiency, we will encourage some administrators, or bureaucrats as they're more known. And beyond that, let's just start the time. Hopefully the economy will settle down. And the Great Wars have been discovered, since, well, we already had a Second World War just recently, so that makes sense. The USA's clout in the UN has reached foremost superpower levels. Wonderful, that gives us a hell of a lot of prestige, and also a really nice bonus there to prestige going forward. The Cold War was a state of political... when the Cold War started. So keep the war cold, and that will give various bonuses to the different blocks that end up taking place. Soviet Union gets some nice blocks, or nice bonuses. We can't even see what our bonuses will be like, since it affects so many people. but that will happen. Minimal corruption in the government, which is good. Should we nationalize major companies? I say go for it. Post-industrialization population boom, excellent. DEFCON 5, peace has returned, great. We are a creditor nation, rejoice. That's good, that improves everyone's lives. We are considered a superpower. That is super. Will give us a nice leadership modifier bonus, diplomatic points, and prestige. Decolonization. We have to adapt to this changing environment. Active technology, decolonization. Active technology, wars of national liberation. There we go, that was a lot of things happening, and now we have even more things to take a stance on, and that's only a few days in. You can imagine how this will be further on. France has joined our glorious bloc. Wonderful. Alright, what can we do now? What can we do now? Well, we can decide how much militarization there will be in the democratic bloc, the one that we're leading. We have high to low and medium in between to pick from. And these will give various bonuses. This will lower income for the rich, middle and poor stratas, which is not that great. This one will only do good things, I think. Yeah, I think we're going for a medium one. It only does good things. And now we have an export or import focused economy. If we go for export focused, we will have more factory output and throughput, which is good. And this one will give more RDO output. It's basically, do you want to focus on the factories or do you want to focus on the RDOs? We will want to focus on the factories because that's what we want to build up. We have a lot of resources as United States already. And up next is the Bretton Woods system, which I'm pretty sure is a simple yes, we want to do that since it only gives bonuses. Now we have the International Monetary Fund that we can join. We will do that. Acquire bomber nuclear delivery means. We can do that too. And what's next? Join the UN General Assembly, as I mentioned before. That will happen. And also the Security Council. Great. And wartime rationing is ended in our country. Here we go. 2 days in, and we've taken more decisions than you do in a normal Victoria 2 game throughout, 100 years. And suddenly we have moderate corruption in our government, which is bad. Venezuela wants an alliance, and Belgium has joined our bloc, which is good. And so does Australia. Welcome, Australia. Welcome to our bloc. And the United Kingdom. A bunch of people are swarming to us. At the start of the game, we start with, for example, this. We have zones of occupation. We start here with Bavaria and Austria under our zone of influence. And apparently in New York you produce credit money, which is funny. We start with Bremen over here, and we also start with Hesse-Nassau, some Baden-Württemberg, and also Bayern, and parts of Austria. So this is our zone of occupation, while France has this part, United Kingdom, and Soviet Union has what will essentially become East Germany. Eventually you can make a decision to form Germany itself, and depending on how that goes, then maybe you can make sure that Germany forms completely. Same thing with Austria, and we also start with owning all of South Korea, and that will eventually become a thing too. Here we have the Republic of China versus the People's Republic of China, with the very famous civil war going on there, which I'm pretty sure that the People's Republic of China will win. They usually do. Alright. We have Japan as our satellite, and our dear friend and ally. They have almost no men, since we are the one protecting them. Probably should move our army to somewhere where they won't die all the time. Free territory of Trieste. We will allow that to happen. Trieste was a city over here in Istria, or close to Istria anyway, that was free at least for a while. I'm not sure if they were free after the First or Second World War, but at one point or another they were free. Occupation policy. The Morgenthau Plan, called after the then United States Secretary of the Treasury, in the original proposal consisted of 3 main points that were to shape up the post-war Germany. So what do we want here? What do we want? We could give them money in order to support the Germans. I think we will go for the Monet Plan. Actually, we will go for the Morgenthau Plan. Actually, we will go for the Monet Plan. I'm just very cautious because I have played this a little bit before, as I try to do always, you just get a hint of what I'm doing, what I'm supposed to be doing in the mod. And let's just say that money is needed for certain things. For example, when the whole thing about the relief plan for, what was that called again? When United States sent a lot of money to post-war Europe so they can rebuild. I can't remember the name of it. We will encounter it in the future in this mod, I just can't remember the name of it. I decided, yeah, hell yeah, let's go for that, that sounds awesome. And immediately slapped with a bill of 1 million, which I couldn't pay for. And the United States fell out of great power status, the Soviet Union won, everything just went to hell. And yeah, want to try to avoid that, if at all possible. We can probably tune up the time a little bit more. A little bit more. We should also maybe remove some of our ships at least. We have so goddamn many ships. And I don't know what to do with all of them. We just have way too many of them. In fact, we could do this. We can save the aircraft carrier of each. And send the aircraft carrier over here. Somewhere. Just somewhere. There. And then remove the rest of the ships. Because we don't need as many ships, I don't believe. Maybe one day we will, and then we can rebuild them again. There, and remove these. Good. Now a bit fewer ships, which should help out with our monetary problems. United Nations Security Council. We are one of the members, apparently, People's Republic of China. Low nuclear capability. And medium Cold War tensions, which is not good. Chairmanship of the IMF. The chairmanship of the IMF is rotating and we get the first one as we are the founder. The chairmanship will only last 5 years. Alright. And now we can decide what kind of monetary fund interest rate we should have. We should have medium, or if we should have high, or maybe just low. Low will reduce the rich strata income, but also reduce the factory owner cost. I think we should just go for the middle one. It increases the rich income while not doing anything majorly that you change for anyone. We are having, like, this is the part which I both love and hate about Victoria, and that is the sphere of influence game. We have sphere of influences in a few places of the world. We have the Scandinavian countries under our sphere, as well as Italy, and then we also have most of America. I think our plan right now will be to maintain that and hold that. We won't challenge the Brits, we won't challenge the Soviet Union, at least not at the moment. United Nations resolution for the Indonesian national revolution. International opinion of the Dutch military campaigns in Indonesia was one of outrage, significantly in both the United Nations and in the United States. In January of blah blah blah. Okay, we can support the Indonesians, we can vote for a peaceful resolution of the conflict, or veto any initiatives. I think going for a peaceful resolution will make everyone happy. Maybe the Dutch will be able to withstand them. Operation Unthinkable. Operation Unthinkable was a code name of two related plans of a conflict between the Western Allies and the Soviet Union. The initial primary goal of the operation was declared as follows: to impose upon Russia the will of the United States and the British Empire. Even though the will of these two countries may be defined as no more than a square deal. Okay, whatever. Okay. We could declare war on the Soviet Union right now. We could do that. Maybe we should. Maybe we should try and see what happens. And if nothing else, we could just reload and start over again. So yeah, that is a thing we could do. Actually, you know what? Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Let's see if the United States can handle the Operation Unthinkable. And then if we do fail it, if something doesn't go right, we can just reverse time and start heading on a different path and see what happens there. But let's see what happens if war is upon us and see if we can be victorious in this regard. So we start off with a war with the United States, or Soviet Union I mean, as the United States. Do we have any allies left? Apparently no one wants to be allied with us. We can call ally, they will not accept. Apparently they do love us for it, but they won't accept our call to arms. That's just brilliant. Why would they even... Like, is that the Britain wanted this? They wanted this, and yet they're not willing to go to war for our side. That seems like a very strange thing. A very, very strange thing, indeed. We can go for high wartime rationing. for now. Request United Nations peacekeeping intervention. At this point, why not? We will lose some prestige for it, but maybe we can have some friends. Or maybe... Have they joined now in the war? Oh, they are all... Wait. Let's see. Yugoslavia is currently facing a war with another country. What will we vote for? As permanent member of the UNSC, should we let the resolution pass? Support the resolution, sure. Go for that. We are at war with a lot of people, and we don't have any allies. United Kingdom does not want to join us. They will not accept, no one will accept our call to arms, our glorious struggle is for no one but them. Apparently Finland decided to join the Soviet Union. Damn Finns, you can't trust them. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this just will end up being a failure, and next episode we will reverse back time and see what happens. But we will go through and see... Oh, world superpower, wonderful. Great. We have no leaders though, which is a bit unfortunate. We only have Harry Potter over here. He is corrupt and chivalrous. And he's stationed in Washington for whatever reason. I think we need to get him back. He's the only leader we have. God damn it, 34 prestige from removing him over there? That's just stupid. Robert Potter, you are now in charge of this army, and you will head against the Russia Chemnitz army. Anglo-American finance is doing really well, apparently. And this army is heading out to get them. Damn Soviets are invading us. We are doing, I suppose, decent in the initial stages of this conflict. Though I'm not certain, really, of if we're winning or not. We do have more men than they do, but we lose about the same amount of soldiers anyway. Which is not great. Not great at all, since they overall have more men. Apparently, there's the tanks that does the difference. They have a lot of tanks. Also, the tanks count as cavalry as far as this is concerned. We have mostly bombers and fighters in ours. And this one is going much better though. That's a conflict that I like. A battle that we like. The enemy for our enemy is Argentina, apparently. Great. Cold War has already turned hot, things are going down, and Argentina has joined our glorious bloc. Except no one else decided to join us. Ah, and this was going well, but now they sent reinforcements. And it's going less well now. We should probably send some extra help. It's still going good. Overall it's going well. I think it's because... No, I can't figure out why. But these battles are still going well. Regensburg was a massive success. We can head into Pilsen to destroy that army once and for all. And Austria has now become a thing. Apparently an ally of the Soviet Union. And they are under our protection, yet they are at war with us. That makes absolutely no sense. They are in our sphere, but at war with us. Alright, Austria, calm down. Calm down. This battle is not going very well either. I'm assuming we'll have some sort of conflict over here too. Yes, we do. Austria is no longer in our sphere of influence. That's to be expected, since they're at war with us. Anti-war protest in Washington, things are just falling down for us. The Soviets are retreating to both Gotha and Meiningen. Just take out their army in Meiningen. That will be our goal now. As 27,000 men should be a smash victory, they should just capitulate really. Apparently they don't. And this army is heading to Prague and we will follow it until we can defeat it. How this battle is going bad and we don't even know. I have no idea how this battle is going bad. This should be a victory. Come on. Victory, please. No? And let's just continue. I want to at least defeat one Soviet army. It's pretty clear that we are not ready for this conflict at all. Ah, the Marshall Mission. Marshall was his name. We will send some money to China. Yeah, this is not going well at all. Oh yeah, so I think that's where we'll cut off. We tried at least the Operation Unthinkable. It's pretty clear that we are not ready for such a conflict, and at least we need our allies to back us up, because they got all their allies on their side. This is the wrong map mode. All of the Eastern Bloc, except for Poland, good job Poland, is at war with us. We have no allies at all on our side. It's just us versus all of the Eastern Bloc. It's just not... It's not a reasonable situation for us to be in. So what we will do is reload and get to that stage where we were before, do exactly the same decisions that we had done, and continue on from a position where we will simply just play along as naturally. So that will be what we will do. I hope you enjoyed this video and you enjoy this series that we will start here, playing as the United States during... What's it called again? The Cold War. Yeah, the Cold War. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes in the future. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.